Hi, in this fatherhood video, I'd like to talk about what we did to prepare for Marcus's birth. So here's my son Marcus, and prior to him being born, we had to prepare a few things just for our stay at the hospital. Now, we brought two bags, almost two small duffel bags of items. Some of the items were bathrobes, towels. We even brought changing clothes for the baby. It was October, so it was pretty cold. So we just prepared some winter clothes, so when we take him out of the hospital, he won't be cold or anything. But out of the two bags that we brought, I must say that we didn't need to use most of it. What we did use were the toiletry items, such as toothpaste, toothbrush. The cell phone charger was also very important. I brought an iPad there, which is also very helpful to help kill the time. And another useful thing was what we did beforehand was we put a lot of music onto the iPad, such as soothing music, because when you're at a hospital, the TVs that they have there aren't that much shows on the TV, and to help calm your wife down, I found it better to just play some classical music or some soft music. Another thing that we brought that was very useful was the paperwork for the hospital. So like any of her medical records for up to a couple weeks before the birth, like all the sonogram, all the doctor's checkups, the prescriptions. We just brought a copy of it just in case the nurse, when you check in, the nurse will ask you what medications have you been taking, and a lot of those medications you won't know the names off the top of your head, so it's better to just look at the prescriptions that the doctors have prescribed. And the doctor doesn't come right away. The OBGYN, the OB doesn't come right away. The OB didn't come till about 6 hours later. So before that, it's essentially just you and the nurse at the hospital. And a lot of other things we brought were a lot of spare clothes. Basically, there's a lot of things that we just did not need. So I wouldn't recommend bringing that many things to the hospital, because they do provide most of it for you. They have towels there already. They have a lot of the toiletry items if you need to use theirs. Some of the hospitals also have a very fancy a spa-like shower room for your wife. Unfortunately, the room that we got did not have its own private shower, so if we did, or if my wife decided to shower, she would have to use the communal shower. Now, another thing that we found very helpful was to bring slippers and also very comfortable shoes for your wife, because to help speed along the contractions and the dilation, the nurse asked us to walk. Also for the husband, it's also very important that you bring comfortable shoes and the slippers too. The husbands, you have to keep in mind, everyone's intention is to keep the wife comfortable. For example, because my wife went to labor at 4 o'clock in the morning, by the time we got to the hospital, there weren't really any breakfast, the cafeteria wasn't open. Your wife won't be eating anything because she'll be on IV. But for yourself, I was pretty hungry. Even up to lunchtime, there still wasn't really much to eat because I was quite busy. The nurse will always have you do things for her, for the wife, to try to help ease her pain, calm her down. And it depends on the doctor, it depends on the nurse. They probably won't give epidural to the woman right away. They did give my wife the epidural till she was about 6 hours after arriving in the hospital for 6 hours. So before that, it's just whatever I can do, get a wet towel, place it on her forehead, just talk to her, keep her distracted off the pain. So there's not much you can do to distract her off the pain, but you're just gonna at least have to try to do as much as you can. And there's two types of painkillers that we learned about at the hospital. One was epidural, which we knew about, and the second one was another one called Stradol. I think that just pretty much knocks you out, just put you under. Some doctors prefer it, some doctors don't. So my wife did not get that because we didn't know much about it. So instead, my wife just opted for the epidural. I'd like to take a moment to talk about what happened at the hospital after Marcus was born. So they're going to try to keep the baby with the mother as much as possible, except for a few activities that the doctors and nurses need to perform.